Let me tell you something hard, but true. It's not always about what you start doing. Sometimes it's about what you stop doing. Success doesn't just come from effort. It comes from eliminating the effort that leads nowhere. You see, if you're rowing a boat on one side and drilling a hole on the other, don't be surprised when you sink. Today, I want to talk to you about 5 habits that are keeping people broke. Not because they lack talent, but because they haven't learned what to quit. Excuses are one of the most dangerous habits a person can carry if they want to become wealthy. They are comforting lies we tell ourselves to avoid the discomfort of growth. When someone says, "I don't have time," what they're really saying is, "I haven't made it a priority." When someone blames the economy, their upbringing, or a lack of opportunities, they're surrendering their power to forces outside their control. The truth is, everyone starts somewhere, and many of the most successful individuals began with less than what most people consider enough. What made the difference was not what they had, but what they decided to do with what they had. Making excuses allows you to stay stuck while feeling justified. It gives you the illusion of action while doing nothing. It steals time, energy, and opportunity. If you want to be rich, not just in money, but in growth, freedom, and potential, you must adopt the mindset of ownership. You must say, "If it is to be, it's up to me." That phrase alone can change your life. It moves you from the passenger seat to the driver's seat. When you give up excuses, you gain control, and when you gain control, you can create results. Excuses may protect your ego in the short term, but they bankrupt your potential in the long term. The wealthy don't spend time justifying inaction. They invest time figuring out how to make things work. They don't say, "I can't." They ask, "How can I?" That shift opens the door to creativity, action, and ultimately wealth. Quitting the habit of making excuses is not easy. It requires brutal honesty and the courage to face your current reality. But once you do, you become unstoppable. You trade weakness for power, and that power builds your future. Choosing short-term pleasure over long-term success is one of the most common habits that silently destroys the path to wealth. It's the habit of giving in to what feels good now at the cost of what matters most later. Whether it's spending money on things you don't need, wasting time on meaningless entertainment, or avoiding uncomfortable but necessary work, these moments of instant gratification create long-term setbacks. The rich understand that discipline today leads to freedom tomorrow. They don't spend mindlessly, they invest. They don't avoid discomfort, they embrace it. They delay the reward because they know the real treasure lies in what comes after consistent effort and sacrifice. Every time you choose what is easy or fun in the moment over what is necessary and valuable, you're stealing from your future. Wealth isn't built overnight, and it certainly isn't built on comfort. It's built on small, disciplined choices made day after day. Skipping a budget today might feel harmless, but done repeatedly, it becomes a financial pattern. Sleeping in might feel satisfying, but the lost opportunity costs more than the moment of rest. Instant gratification convinces you that now is all that matters, but the wealthy operate with a long-term vision. They say no to temporary pleasure so they can say yes to lasting success. Breaking this habit means training your mind to focus on what matters most, not what feels good right now. It means remembering that everything you truly want, freedom, abundance, security, lives on the other side of temporary discomfort. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement, and those who master it don't chase wealth, they build it. If you want to be rich, you must stop trading your future for fleeting comfort. The cost is too high, and the reward is too far reaching to ignore. The people you surround yourself with shape your mindset more than you realize. If you consistently spend time with individuals who complain, blame, and settle for mediocrity, it's only a matter of time before their habits, language, and attitudes rub off on you. Wealth is not just about skill or strategy. It's about mindset, and mindset is contagious. Being in the wrong environment can slowly drain your ambition and make average feel acceptable. The conversations you hear, the energy you absorb, and the standards you normalize all influence your direction in life. That's why one of the most important decisions on the road to wealth is choosing the right circle. Wealthy individuals are intentional about who they allow into their space. They avoid gossip, negativity, and victim thinking. Instead, they connect with people who challenge them to grow, push them to think bigger, and inspire them to act. When you're around driven, focused individuals, their mindset starts to sharpen your own. You begin to believe more is possible because you're seeing it in real time. Their energy becomes a mirror for what you can become. On the other hand, when you're constantly surrounded by those who fear change or ridicule ambition, it becomes harder to stay motivated and easy to doubt yourself. The reality is, not everyone is meant to go with you on your journey to wealth. Letting go of negative influences is not an act of arrogance. It's an act of self-respect. You're not judging others. You're protecting your potential. If you want to build a rich life, build a rich environment. Seek out conversations that elevate you, relationships that stretch you, and communities that challenge you to rise. Because in the end, your environment is either your greatest support system or your silent saboteur. Choose wisely. In today's world, it's easier than ever to consume without thinking. Endless social media scrolling, watching shows, gossiping, or constantly seeking entertainment has become the norm for many. The problem is not the tools themselves, but how we use them. This habit of mindless consumption is one of the most damaging to anyone who dreams of building wealth. It keeps the mind busy but not productive, full but not fulfilled. You can spend hours absorbing random content and still feel stuck because none of it leads to transformation. Wealthy individuals treat their time and attention as assets. They consume with purpose and learn with intent. The rich are not necessarily smarter, but they are more focused. They read books that teach, listen to mentors who challenge, and seek ideas that spark action. Every piece of content they allow into their mind has a job to do: inform, inspire, or instruct. They don't just scroll for distraction. They search for wisdom. The difference between rich and poor isn't access to information, because we all have it. It's how that information is used. The poor consume to escape. The rich consume to elevate. It's not about how much you know, but what you do with what you know. Breaking this habit means becoming conscious of what you allow into your mind. Start asking, is this helping me grow? Is this aligned with where I want to go? If the answer is no, it's time to let it go. Trade entertainment for education. Replace noise with knowledge. Turn wasted hours into building blocks for your future. The mind is a garden. What you plant in it determines what grows. And if you want wealth to grow, you must feed your mind like your future depends on it. Because it does. One of the most limiting habits on the path to wealth is the fear of failure. This fear paralyzes action, stifles creativity, and keeps people from ever starting. Many dream of success, but are unwilling to risk embarrassment, rejection, or falling short. What they don't realize is that failure is not the opposite of success, it's a requirement. Every wealthy individual has a long history of setbacks, mistakes, and lessons learned the hard way. They didn't avoid failure. They embraced it, studied it, and used it as fuel for their next move. The fear of failing often does more damage than failure itself. It creates hesitation, and hesitation leads to missed opportunities. Failure is the universe's way of testing your commitment. It asks, how bad do you want it? Those who push through the pain of falling down develop the resilience to get back up stronger. Wealth doesn't come to those who always get it right. It comes to those who refuse to quit. Every failed product, every lost deal, every misstep. These are not roadblocks, but stepping stones. The rich view failure as a tuition fee for learning. They pay it, learn the lesson, and move forward wiser and sharper. Letting go of the fear of failure means shifting your mindset. Instead of asking, "What if it doesn't work?" start asking, "What if it does?" Understand that failure is not a verdict, it's a teacher, and the faster you learn, the faster you grow. Action beats perfection every time. You can't improve something you never start. The people who succeed financially are not always the most talented or the most educated. They're the ones who dared to try, even when the outcome wasn't guaranteed. Wealth is built by those willing to fail forward, again and again, until success has no choice but to follow. We often hear about the habits we need to develop in order to succeed, but what's equally powerful, and often overlooked, is the importance of quitting the habits that silently sabotage our progress. Success isn't just about adding new behaviors. It's also about removing the ones that drain your energy, focus, and potential. If your daily routine is filled with distractions, poor decisions, or mental clutter, no amount of ambition can make up for the damage being done. Path to wealth becomes much clearer when you start subtracting the habits that lead you in the opposite direction. Think of it like clearing the runway before takeoff. You can't fly high with the weight of bad habits dragging you down. Whether it's procrastination, negative thinking, excessive spending, or laziness, these behaviors don't just slow your growth. They block it completely. Wealthy people understand that what you tolerate becomes your limit. They're constantly refining, evaluating, and eliminating what no longer serves them. They treat bad habits as threats, not harmless tendencies, because they know how costly they truly are over time. The truth is, real transformation begins with quitting. It's about making space for better choices. When you quit wasting time, you make time for learning. When you quit unhealthy spending, you make room for investing. When you quit toxic relationships, you open space for empowering ones. Every bad habit you quit is a door opening to something greater. Success isn't just built on hard work, it's built on clean decisions, clear priorities, and a disciplined lifestyle. If you're serious about becoming rich, take inventory of what needs to go. Subtract first, and then you'll find the clarity to build something extraordinary. Because sometimes the key to changing your life isn't doing more. It's simply doing less of what holds you back.